have several pieces of really good removals. I see a Clan Defiance, which will suggest to me going into Gruul, which I haven't done very much lately. In this pack there's a Slaughterhorn that'll help me out in Gruul, and Warmind Infantry. Either one of, if they table, I'll be very happy, but also Mark for Death. Then there's Smite, which goes into both Boros and Orzhov, and Death's Approach and Dimir Dimir Charm that work for others. But I'm going to take the Clan Defiance because it's one, rare, and two, one of the best removal spells in the game right now. Okay, I get past this Gore Clan Rampager, which is one of the best creatures in Gruul. I'm talking in Gruul, which makes me feel like this is a good choice. Still in this pack is a Scorchwalker and a Kingpin's Pet, so I mean, these types of things are first picks, but we're going to take the Rampager. Alright, so we get a Mugging, which is also first pickable, but we also get the Scab Clan Charger and the Zertos Swine. Any one of these three that table will be nice. Zertos Swine will probably table a little bit more likely than the Scab Clan Charger, and Mugging won't table at all, so we're going to take the Mugging. We also wouldn't be unhappy with the Ivy Lane Denizen that was in the last pack. We're going to take a Bomber Crew here, Bomber Corps, since we only have 2 creatures and we're 4 picks in, and there was no removal for us in that pack. Okay, so we have Combat Trick or Prophetic Prison, and I think we're going to take the Combat Trick. There are a couple of different things that are floating around in packs right now that might make that worth it. Okay, here's a Zertos Swine, which I'm going to take over the Scorchwalker. It's going to be easier for me to cast. Yes, there's another Bomber Corps, but I can get more of those later, and I might not see another Zertos Swine. Okay, Pit Fight is what we're going to take here. Yes, there's another Scab Clan Charger in here, but the Pit Fight is removal, and we're going to place a high priority on removal for this deck. Alright, so the only thing for us in here is the Naturalize. We could splash for this Spell Rupture, but it's not a card worth splashing for, so we'll pick up a sideboard card for ourselves. Alright, so we're seeing what's coming back around to us, and Smite is actually still in this pack, which means that we might be able to splash white. We're going to go ahead and pick it up because it is a better card than Mark for Death. Even though Mark for Death is uncommon, we'll still take the Smite. We might not play it, we might play it. We'll see. Wildwood Rebirth has tabled, like we thought it would, so we're gonna pick that up. All of our value cards are gonna move over here. Combat Tricks in one pile, value cards in another, creatures in another pile in order. So we definitely need more creatures in this next pack. We're going to start prioritizing those, considering we've got multiple spells. But I'm pretty happy with where we're at. Alright, so the Scab Clan Charger that I hoped would table, did table. We're going to be looking for low casting cost creatures after this point. It's another Wildwood Rebirth, so sure, why not? We can always replace it later, but it gives us some real big value with the Blood Rush creatures, which is a big deal. You know what? I think we'll hate the Sky Games. Neither one of those two cards is very playable, but the Sky Games is more annoying when they do use it. I'm not gonna play a Frenzied Tilling, so we won't worry about it. We'll move Smite back in here so that we know that we have it as a splash potential. It's just nice to know those kinds of things. Get this island out of here and take a closer look at what we're doing. Okay, so we have no 1-drop creatures. We only have 1 2-drop creature. We have lots of value spells, 2 4-drops, and a 5-drop. So let's see what we're looking at. Alright. Well, now I see this Gideon Champion of Justice, and he's a $3 card, so we might pick him up just because he'll get us to another draft, even though that means passing a Skink Brand and a Greenside Watcher, which are pretty high picks for us right now, and obviously the Pit Fight and the Hellraiser Goblin. But I think I'm going to take this Gideon and rare draft a little bit because I want the money cards. Just got past a Boros Reckoner. I don't know who's off to our left, but we're going to take that. We can play it, and we'll play it all day long. We get another mugging in this pack. There are no creatures for us, but we're hoping that the Act of Treason will table. This gives us our first 3-drop creature, even though it's probably a little bit later than that for us. We're going to go ahead and pick up the Gruul Charm, simply because it's one of those spells that is the last spell you cast. It holds the same place as Act of Treason, except it's cheaper, instant speed, and can do other things if we need it to. So now we're not necessarily looking to pick up that Act of Treason. We're really hoping to get many more creatures now, prioritizing creatures all over the board. The only spell that we would probably, the only 2 spells that we would probably pick up right now are Ground Assault and Homing Lightning. Probably the only 2 ones. We'll pick up another Gore Clan Rampager here. 1 is great and 2 is fantastic, because we can probably pick up this Spire Tracer when this pack comes back around. There will be 3 cards left in it, so I mean, maybe not see it, but we'll hope for it. Okay, so there's nothing really in this pack for us, so we're gonna go ahead and kill that kill spell off. Don't want to see it come out against us, and there was nothing we could really play in there. Anything that we'd picked up we weren't playing, so. We're gonna grab this Shamble Shark. We probably won't splash for it, but we'll grab it. Okay, now we have to choose between Ground Assault and some creatures. We're actually going to take Ground Assault, simply because we don't want to lose it, but we have to realize that now we are pretty much done on removal spells. Not looking for any more. In fact, I think at this point, probably not even splashing the Smite. Got better removal in our pool right now. What with the 2 muggings, which are removal slash path clearers, the pit fight, the ground assault, the clan defiance. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take the Hellraiser Goblin. Now we'll take the Greenside Watcher. Faster creature, less likely to get us into trouble, and I don't think we have enough in the way of combat tricks or other good things to happen right there. Looking to either pick up a Boros Guildgate or Simic Guildgate, although a Breeding Pool or a Sacred Foundry as our rare in the next pack would be perfectly fine by me. They would just immensely help us. But Guildgates of either blue or white would be happy. Alright, so we're gonna kill the Bane Alley Broker. There wasn't much else in there. Probably going to take the Riot Gear and put it in the sideboard. This deck doesn't really want it. At this point it's looking like we're going to be slower, so we're going to take that Furious Resistance, even though we're probably not going to play it. I'm in fact going to send it straight to the sideboard. Okay, there's the Spire Tracer. I'm glad it tabled to us. I don't care about 10th Street Market at all, so I'm just gonna sideboard the land. Tenth Street Market's just one of those cards that nobody wants, nobody plays. I can't see any reason to play it, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so in this one, we see another Greenside Watcher, another Gore Clan Rampager. We've got 2, and I don't think we'll play 3. And the Skinkbrand Goblin. I think we're going to take the Goblin and hope that Guildgate tables. If not, the Greenside Watcher or the Rampager would make us very, very happy at this point. Alright, so in this one, there's a Ruination Worm, which is okay. But I'm actually thinking that I might want to pick up the Simic Guildgate right now. I've got 10 creatures. I really need to make sure I hit 15. But I'm going to take this Simic Guildgate to improve my mana base a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to have to take this Scorchwalker, which is unfortunately slow. But there's nothing else in there for us. Alright, so we're going to take this Miming Slime. It's not actually a creature, but it helps us make more. We'll take the Warmind Infantry all day, every day at this point. Gruul, Charm, and Active Treason just aren't going to cut it for us. Alright, so we're looking here at either some more splashing or just some slowness, and I think we're going to have to take the slow card. Really would like to see a key rune at this point, so that we can accelerate our mana and get to that 4th and 5th drops. And what do you know? The universe listens, although I think I'm going to actually pick up the Krakana, because it's a creature, and it'll give us the option to cut some other creatures later on if need to. Another Spire Tracer. This is actually playing very nicely for us. We've got several cards that are just better for us to cast as combat tricks with the Spire Tracer. Can make it a very deadly creature. Can go turn 1 Spire Tracer, turn 2 Gore Clan Rampager, turn 3 Gore Clan Rampager, turn 4 Zertos Swine, turn 5 they should be dead if they haven't killed the Spire Tracer. Alright, we're gonna pick up the Guild Gate. Yes, we could have picked up another 2-drop creature, but this gives us more that we can do with our creatures. We got another Skinkbrand Goblin, which I think is actually better than the Greenside Watcher. Nothing in here is really useful, although some people will actually play the Beckon Apparition, so that's go away. Primal Visitation, I don't really think that it has a place in our deck, but it could. Scatter Arc is more annoying than Crackling Perimeter, so they can actually use it to stop some of our removal, although I don't think there's the type of Simic deck that wants to play it being built right now. And we're not even going to worry about the Guildscorn Ward. I think our deck has actually come together very much the way we wanted it to in the end. It might be a little slower than we intended, but I'm happy with it. Alright, so this deck is going to need to have 17 land, simply because our creature base is actually a lot slower than I wanted to, and we've got a triple red and we've got a blue splash. I don't want to be running all of these creatures, so I'm actually probably going to toss the Ivy Lane Denizen. It's counter to our strategy anyway in the end, so I'm going to toss that out. And that gives us 15 creatures, which means that we have room for 8 spells. Which probably means Miming Slime is going to go away. Which isn't a terrible thing. We don't really need it. Okay, so we have this Shamble Shark, which is a splash, and this Boros Reckoner, which is a half splash. So we can't count on casting these guys on time. If we look at it that way, turn 1 we might be able to do something, turn 2 we should be doing something, turn 3 we might be doing something, turn 4 we better be doing something, and turn 5 we should also be doing something. So it looks like we're okay. But really we want to hit one of our 1 or 2 drops. And if we can hit one of our 3 drops, then we're alright. If we cast one of these 4 drops, we're okay. We don't want to be casting this one. We want to be using it only as a pump spell, but we're okay to cast it if we absolutely need the creature to kill them. The Zertos Wine can go either way. We're definitely casting that, we're definitely casting this, just maybe not on time. Okay, we're not going to run the white, we're actually going to use that to bump an extra blue. And we're going to add this to the deck and take a second look. Alright, so for this deck to work, we can't keep a hand that has less than 1 red. And really, we need to have 2 reds in hand, but if we have 1, we're okay. Alright, I think that's going to be what we submit.